It's a sign of the times. Organic food sales have skyrocketed, representing a nearly $30 billion market and about 12% of U.S. fruit and vegetables.
It took hundreds of thousands of years for the human population to reach 1 billion. And in less than 200 years, that has increased to nearly 7.5 billion people. Many scientists calculate the sustainable population to be about 2 billion people, which means we need to manage our resources and food production very carefully to cater to the extra 5.5 billion people. As populations have grown, farming practices have become more intensified to maximize crop yields and ensure that we can feed our ever-growing population. Fertilizers and pesticides are used on crops, and animals may be kept inside in more densely packed sheds to maximize milk yields or egg production, or speed up the time needed for the animal to be ready to be sent to the market for meat. In this video, we are going to look at an alternative to conventional farming, organic farming. We're going to see what it is in theory and the pros and cons of this method in relation to other modern agricultural methods. Organic farming currently accounts for about 1% of agricultural land worldwide. It focuses on sustainability and is thought to have less detrimental effects on the environment than conventional farming. This has led to it being proposed as an alternative to conventional agriculture for helping to overcome the climate change crisis we are currently experiencing. But the debate continues, as it is not a perfect solution. In theory, organic farming should not use chemical fertilizers, herbicides and pesticides, or feed additives for livestock.
Pesticides have been classified as probable carcinogens for 25 years, and different pesticides have been associated with different kinds of cancers through a variety of mechanisms, both genetic damage directly to our DNA or chromosomes, or epigenetic modification, changing the way our genes are expressed. But that's for workers who are spraying them. Exposure to pesticide residues that remain on the food are at much lower levels. More recently, higher cancer rates have been noted in those that live in areas where they spray a lot. But what about just the food we buy at the store? Organic fruits and vegetables have fewer pesticides, but even the levels on conventional produce are generally well below accepted limits. There's still scientific controversy about the safety of some pesticides, even under the limit, given the possible additive effects of mixtures of pesticides we're exposed to, something that isn't necessarily taken into account in the pesticide approval process. They also don't take into account toxic breakdown products like dioxins that can form once pesticides are released into the environment. Cadmium is another issue. In the largest review to date, involving hundreds of studies, not only did organic foods have more antioxidant phytonutrients, but lower concentrations of cadmium. That's a good thing. Cadmium is one of 3 highly toxic heavy metals, along with lead and mercury, found in the food supply. It accumulates in the body, and so we should try to keep intake as low as possible. Thus, the fact that organic crops only have about half the cadmium is therefore desirable. The cadmium is thought to come from the phosphate fertilizers that are added to conventional crops. Of course, not all organic foods are healthy. The organic food industry is now worth tens of billions of dollars. They didn't get that way just selling carrots.
More natural alternatives. This results in lower yields, but the farmer can sell their product at a higher price because consumers believe the product is of a higher quality.
It's a sign of the times. Organic food sales have skyrocketed, representing a nearly $30 billion market and about 12% of U.S. fruit and vegetable sales. A study in the Annals of Internal Medicine compared the health benefits of organic and conventional produce.
What we found was that there were no nutritional differences between organic foods and conventional foods. What we also found was that conventional foods do have higher levels of pesticide residue, but they were without exception all within acceptable limits.
In addition to nutritional values and pesticide levels, there are other differences in the more expensive organic food.
They will have been grown and produced in a sustainable way. We sum it up as better soil makes better products. And so the end product, the fruit, the vegetable, is going to be ultimately better tasting and of a quality that we feel we want at Whole Foods Market.
The Environmental Working Group has tried to set guidelines for the best foods to buy organic. The Clean 15 are foods with thick skins, skins you don't eat, meaning conventionally grown should be fine. The Dirty Dozen are foods with thin skins you do eat, which means organic might be better because of lower pesticide levels. But organic or conventional, a simple rule holds true.
Even if you do buy conventional produce from the Dirty Dozen, just make sure that you wash your fruits and vegetables with normal tap water. That alone can reduce your exposure even further and protect you from bacterial contamination.
But regardless of the label, it's always a good idea to educate yourself on what you're eating.
Food is a matter of personal choice, and I think being educated on what your options are is always a great idea.
We simply need to consume more fruits and vegetables. So the more color you have in your diet, the better, whether it's from organic produce or conventional.
The bottom line is sound. We get a tremendous benefit from eating conventional fruits and vegetables that far outweighs whatever tiny bump in risk from the pesticides. But hey, why accept any risk at all when you can choose organic? I agree. But we should never let concern about pesticides stop us from stuffing our face with as many fruits and vegetables as possible.